believe that we should be able to make ourselves available for you at about 1 o'clock, if that's okay. The normal rate is $100, half an hour, $150 for an hour, unless you want both girls. And then, I'll be willing to bargain with you about that, because you seem like such a nice guy.
Yeah, these are physically my own girls. I've got a really small operation, but I take real good care of them.
Yeah, it gets confusing. This is like in the middle of nowhere. You can come on in. You can go ahead and sit on the couch. I'm gonna get a drink.
I take really good care of my girls. I like to make sure that they're safe, be nice to them. There'll be condoms in the bedside table, so you don't have to worry about that. Is that a problem?
No. Lacey, sit down. Sit down. Sheriff's office!
On the way out!
Cuffs. Got him.
Craig Sawyer is the most qualified individual to handle the mission for interdicting child predators and child sex traffickers. Former Marine, former Navy SEAL, not just Special Warfare SEAL, but a member of SEAL Team 6, federal law enforcement officer from the standpoint of being a federal air marshal, plus working on an individual basis with other government agencies.
I feel like as a warrior, I'd been a Marine, I'd been a Navy SEAL, I grew up as a fighter, and I realized that, man, I'd spent the first half of my life going up against terrorists, serving as a counter-terrorist operator in the counter-terrorist unit, and that was a worthy contribution. But as I learned more about child trafficking and the harm and abuse of the most precious and innocent and helpless and defenseless, I just realized that I couldn't look myself in the mirror without doing what I could to combat those who are harming the children. Who am I if I can't stand up for the smallest and most defenseless and most innocent and precious among us? What kind of warrior can't even look after a child? As a former Navy SEAL, I'm wired for direct action. And I know that for this kind of work, especially dealing with cartels, I'd need a team of guys I could depend on for high threat security.
Everybody ready to do it again, guys? Go. I'm ready. Yeah.
So I put together what I called the Viper Team, Veterans Interdicting Pedophile Rings. Former special operators, all very highly skilled and highly intelligent. Every one of them wanted to stop child trafficking.
Yeah, nice.
After a couple of days getting dialed in at the range, we were ready to deploy. There are multiple things that cause this culture of child rape. One of the things is pornography. Another is Alfred Kinsey. Back in the 1950s, he was a self-described sadomasochistic pedophile whose own genitals were mutilated due to what he preferred sexually, so his mind was sick.
Child sex trafficking in the United States really begins back earlier than most people understand. In 1970s, we already had a major campaign in the United States on the issue of child sexual abuse and trafficking, but we didn't call it trafficking at that time.
Dr. Judith Reisman is the founder of the Reisman Institute, which is dedicated to exposing and debunking Alfred Kinsey's fraudulent so-called science regarding child sexuality. She is internationally recognized as an expert witness on human sexuality.
I would have to say the Kinsey reports laid the scientific foundation for abusing kids. In 1948, the groundwork was laid. There was sexual behavior in the human male, funded by the Rockefeller Foundation, supported across the board. Then in 1953, sexual behavior in the human female. When Kinsey came on board, half the states in the Union could give the death penalty for rape. The other half, life in prison. It all emerges out of something. And that something, that kind of dehumanization that is picked up by the media from the academic world, pushed through the schools, through first just the universities, then the junior high schools, the high schools, then now the kindergarten, lays the groundwork for where we are.
And look at all the harm it's caused.
Enormous harm. Alfred Kinsey should have been arrested, so should all his teammates have been arrested. The Kinsey Institute's still alive and still educating the public. And now we are seeing the explosion, and the end result is the massive abuse of children, as well as directly related, the trafficking of children, because you can't separate the grooming of children from the trafficking of children.
The sexual exploitation of children has increased exponentially. For instance, between 2003 and 2006, it doubled. It doubled again between 2006 and 2008, and then it doubled a third time from 2009 to 2013.
If you're out there preying upon the children, we're out there looking for you, and we're probably going to get you.
Take action. Go to vetsforchildrescue.org.